Fix on Me. Hey y'all, welcome back to season 2 of Fix on Me podcast, the place where we come to inspire men to be better versions of themselves by looking at themselves. I am your host, Angel Hernandez, and I just gotta say, it's a miracle that I'm even doing says season 2. I'm not gonna lie. There's gonna be some little things that are different this season. For just to say what they are. One of them is, like I said, it's particularly for men, but anybody's welcome to do it. It's a 7-day challenge where you are able to let go of things, and I created a PDF that can hopefully guide you through. It's like a surrender. It's a surrender challenge. And I created a PDF, which I'm gonna make available for you guys in the description. You just click on it and you can download it. It's a journal format, but I'm not able to print it. Well, a printing version is available, but through Amazon, but the main focus is I have to give it out for free. So I focused on doing it digitally and make it accessible for you guys to be able to download it. I'm also going to have a QR code here somewhere in the screen somewhere pop out throughout the season. And, for those who are joining new, for those who have been part of the Fix on Me podcast in the beginning of it, you'll be able to scan that QR code as well, and it'll take you to the challenge. I just hoped that it helps people let go of some things, and also like renew their mindset as far as like what you can do better to become a better version of yourself. You know what I mean? Through the guidance of God. So, I just wanted to share that. Please subscribe if you're new. For those who have been sticking around since the beginning, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Just hit the like button, share it wherever you guys want to share it, and let's just get into this episode. In today's episode, we're discussing about just being accountable. The main theme of the whole podcast is just, like I said, for men to become better versions of themselves by looking at themselves. And last season we focused on vulnerability, and vulnerability is still like the main part of the podcast, but this episode particularly, it has to do with accountability, which I believe it goes hand in hand to being accountable, to do what you need to do the work that you need to do. And I'm not talking about like work related. That becomes second nature, especially when you do something for such a long time. I'm talking about the work that you have to do within yourself, the accountability of being able to do the work that you need to do within you. You get what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. For example, usually before I start a podcast or before I even decide to keep going with it, I'm usually going through something, and it's not like a negative. It's just like a journey of another self-discovery, and during this season of my life, I've been challenged to really tap into becoming more emotionally in tune, with myself, being more emotionally intelligent with myself, also being able to surrender the things that I need to surrender at the time, and realize that they're going to come back. You know what I'm saying? Somehow, some way, they always return, even when you think they're not. But I don't want to keep rambling, I'm like I said, I'm not used to being in front of this camera, so it's different to do this. But anyways, this season has been a really dope journey. I feel like I have discovered a lot about myself, particularly when it comes to spirituality section of me. We all have different parts. We have the physical, the mental, spiritual, and I feel like they all work together to flow You know what I mean? But what I've been paying attention is that most of the changes has to start here, you know, and it starts in your thoughts. It starts in, if you know, like for example, for me, there was a point in my life where I literally sat down and I was like, Lord, I need to learn how to not let my emotions change me or control me, you know? And I just asked him like, hey, can you show me how you deal with your emotions, or show me your emotions? And he showed me some scriptures. I found this particular article that helped me find the scriptures where God shared his emotions. And God has emotions for sure. That's what I learned. But what was different about God and me as a person is that I would let those emotions change me, take me out of character. You know what I'm saying? Be more responsive in a second nature, meaning that if I would get upset at something, that emotion that I'm responding to, it's a second hand thing, you know, not meaning that there's something in my past within myself that I haven't dealt with. That's the part where it comes to accountability, finding those tools and resources to say, Lord, check my heart. What is it that I have in my heart, my inner chambers? That's what I learned from a conversation that I had a couple weeks ago about the heart posture. You know, check my inner chambers of my heart, the deepest dark parts of my heart that I need to let go, surrender, you know, and then change the way I see it, perception, you know what I'm saying? So then I don't become in tune with reacting to that emotion because I already removed it from my heart. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's one of the journeys that I've been learning this season in my life. And it's not been easy, you know, but what's been helping has been the consistent time that I have set aside to seek God every time. 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. Every time I wake up, the first thing I do is put on my headset and go to the devotional that I'm in, which is I've been studying Proverbs this whole not Proverbs, sorry, Psalms this whole time. For the last 66 days, I've been on Psalms, the book of Psalms, and I play it in my headset. I take the dog out. We're walking outside, and I'm just listening to the scripture. And then when I'm listening to the scripture, I might play some worship music, and then I get into prayer. And then I come back up, and then I write a prayer in my journal. You know what I'm saying? And then because I've learned that those things that you're praying for, it's good to speak them, and at the same time it's great to write them down, because when you write them down and you get to see the change that has progressed over time. Do you know what I'm saying? And you're able to go back to it. And the only reason I say this is because I had a time in this year where I was going through a lot of stress, you know, mentally a lot of stress, and from outside stuff, not work related, not just inner demons that I had to like deal with, you know, and I had to hold accountable to like really search within myself to remove those things, you know, and remind myself that I've gone through other things and have overcome through the grace of God. You know what I'm saying? So, and that the promises are always kept by him too. That's another thing. And it was during a time where, like I said, I was going through a lot of things emotionally, and mentally. And God literally was like, "Hey, man, you don't remember?" Literally, like that's how I heard it. Like, you don't remember? And I was like, "Remember what?" And during the process of me moving, I found an old journal that I have that I used to write letters. I used to call them letters to God, and I didn't know, that I was technically journaling. I didn't know that, but I was writing out these letters, that basically are forms of prayers, but I didn't know I was praying. I was just writing letters to God, and the only reason I would write letters to God was because my mother showed me to do that. She always used to do that herself when she would grow. When I was growing up, I would always see her, like, I would ask her, and she was like, "Oh, I'm writing my letters to God," and so I got in the habit of doing that myself, and he reminded me of a lot of things. I mean, he reminded me of some stuff from my marriage, my career, my education, anything that I came across that was like opposition or was difficult. I wrote it down, prayed about it, and it showed how I've overcome all of those things continuously. So that just showed me, like, okay, this season, what I need to do is submit to God's will, you know, and that's the whole purpose of why I'm continue to do season 2 for this podcast. Because I wasn't going to do it, to be honest. I was focused on other things, but reading through that journal and looking at old passages of what I wrote was like a revelation of, hey man, you need to be like this with God. Like, not like that, like this, And I can say that in the last couple of months, I have definitely felt closer than I have ever been in my entire life to God. Like, I don't make a move without talking to him, without bringing it to his feet. If it's a thought, I'm like, I'll write it out, and I'm like, Lord, is this from you? He gives me clarity. Okay, what you want me to do with it? You know what I'm saying? That's how the 7-day surrender challenge journal came about. It was a thought that came. I just wrote it out. I couldn't stop writing, and then I ended up typing it eventually. And then once I had the PDF file, I was like, Lord, what do you want me to do? And then he was like, give it out for free. And the funny thing is, I ended up speaking to a friend, and I asked him, like, hey, I have this journal. I had this journal idea, and, we bounced ideas off of each other. And then in another discussion we had, he was like, hey, I'm going to rock you. You ready for me to rock your world? I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, you got to give it out for free. And I was like, that's funny that you say that, because that's what I received, to give it out for free. So I had to figure out a way to do that, and I did anyways. But I said that in the beginning of the podcast, the beginning of this episode at least. But yeah, I had to really hold myself accountable to see that no matter what I'm going through, God's gonna provide what I need during that season to be molded, not to pass through it, to be molded to become the person that he needs me as a man to become for the next season in my life that's about to come up. I feel like I always say this. I've said this to other people. I feel like sometimes we give a lot of credit to the other guy. The other guy, he do his thing, but the other guy don't got no dominion over me. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't got no control over what goes on over here. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things that I might react to, or decisions that I make, is stuff that I decided to do because I was so focused on a particular thing instead of focusing on what I needed to focus on, which is God. And then he, instructs me, and then I move. You know what I'm saying? I was skipping that, and I was focused on like, okay, I can take this and go make this happen. I can take that and go make. I was so divided, you know what I'm saying, to where it put me in a position of season in my life that has been a little tight on, a lot of different things. And what I mean by tight, I mean it's like just difficult times, but have been overcoming each of those and been reminded that the way I have been overcoming those is by, hey, seek me first, and then everything else will work out, literally, seek him first. That's one of the main. So I've been holding myself accountable to do that on a daily basis. And then when I seek him, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling, I had a thought process, and it's clearly is thrown out the window right now. I had some questions that I was going to go over, but obviously those questions are not important at this time. But I lost my train of thought there. Shoot, it's all right. It'll come back. But what I was going to say was that I bring everything to him, and I don't make a move without his guidance, of course, instead of my own will. You know what I'm saying? Instead of my own strength, my own ideas, my own thoughts, my own everything, Don't get me wrong, you have those, but you have to take the accountability to check with him first. That's the part that need people to need men, as what God revealed to me as foundational men of God. That's what he told me a couple months ago. We have to take the accountability to build that foundation where it needs to be. And then when we focus on what God has probably instructed us to do, which is might be like, hey, you need to work on this. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, Lord, maybe I can't afford to work on this right now. Oh, okay, well, here we go. I'll send you some resources where you can afford it. Okay, then you do it. You get what I'm saying? Like, if it's seeking mental health, well, not mental health. If it's seeking therapy, if it's just seeking the community of men with like-minded thinking to be around, or is it to just spend more time on the Word, so you can get revelation, and then also taking accountability, just sit there and be still. That's the hard one. To just be still. We make all these plans okay. Trust me, y'all, I had plans. I was like, okay, I'm trying to build a virtual production studio. And I have the tools. I am invested in the gear. I have, what I'm saying? I built the computer for it. I've been learning it for the last year. I think I've gotten to the point where I perfected the capture-wise aspect of it. And then I was like, okay, now I got to tap into the aspect of learning how to build the virtual sets. And then so I can incorporate those. So I can now incorporate the virtual sets into the live feed capture, real-time capture of the virtual experience. That can be green screen, virtual screen, TV screen, projector, whatever. But, I was focused on that. You know what I'm saying? And God was like, yo, you spending 2-3 hours learning this thing. Why can't you spend 10 minutes with me? And y'all, When I got so like convicted that I was like, okay, I get it. I need to let go of some things. Pull back. Reassess what I'm doing. Because I'm trying to do things myself. And when you do your things yourself, that's when the stressors come. It's usually not the enemy. You get what I'm saying? But it's the stresses of wanting to have that thing of like, you see a goal how you want it to go, and then you take the steps to try to achieve it, and then it doesn't go that way. You get frustrated. You get what I'm saying? And the easiest thing to do is to blame it on somebody else. And what we tend to do is blame it on the devil or whatever you want to call him, the other guy. But in actuality, you got to look at yourself. Take the accountability to look at yourself and be like, yo, the reason that it didn't work is because such and such and so, or no, it ain't so and such and such. Is it didn't work because I'm off balance. I'm over here trying to do it myself instead of seeking him, instruction, taking it, handling it out. That's the part that I think as men we have been missing. We think that we have to have our feet in a lot of different things. And naturally as men, we like to fix things. For example, I had to take accountability to really become emotionally in tune this year. Because I realized that, I realized that, for example, if I'm trying to connect with somebody emotionally and I'm not able to express that emotion in a way that's safe, that's not abusive, you get what I'm saying? That's not degrading, that's positive, that's, like I said earlier, safe, that's doesn't change the heart posture that I have. I had to really be in tune with that because I realized that growing up, I didn't have the space to be able to to be able to release some emotion. So I had to really control how I might express myself, you know what I'm saying, without saying anything or causing damage to my character. That then also would cause damage to the other person at the other end. You get what I'm saying? Like, I had to take the accountability to say, like I asked earlier, I asked God, like, show me. I think I am rambling. I'm like all over the place. But hey, it is what it is. I told God to show me his emotions. And what he showed me was that there's certain things that he doesn't like. Just like we do. It's just like, man, like there's certain things that might offend him, just like we do. Jesus went in the temple and started flipping tables. You get what I'm saying? That's probably the one time that we've seen, or not the one time that I've seen, that I saw where Jesus expresses emotions like that, But one thing with God, he's consistent. You see what I'm saying? And it doesn't allow him to change him or be out of character. And as men, that's the part that we need to tap into so we can apply it to our marriages, to our family, to our relationships, to our business, to our career, to our jobs, anywhere. You get what I mean? And even with God. It's all right to be upset, but don't let that change the person that you are. Or it's all right to, once you, how would I say this? Once you tap in with that emotion, then that's where you start opening the doors for the other guy. But you gotta remember that it starts with you. It starts with you. You know what I'm saying? It starts with you. What is that verse? Be angry but sin not. That's how it comes. That's how it is with emotions. You know what I'm saying? Be sad but don't fall into depression. Be angry but don't act on the anger. You get what I'm saying? Be I don't know. I hope this is making sense, you guys, because I'm noticing that I'm speaking whatever is flowing down to me right now. But that's what I've been going through this season, and well, not this season, the last several years, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like God has just been putting it in my heart, like, yo, you have to share your experience so other men can see that, hey, whatever you're going through, you can get through it. It's not easy. Don't get me wrong, it's not easy. But you gotta hold yourself accountable to do the work. You know what I'm saying? You gotta hold yourself accountable to do the work. Because what's the point of if you don't do the work, then it's not gonna change. And then if you don't also do the work to change your thought process, the renewal of your mind, that's not gonna work either. You're gonna just fall back to the same things that you've done before and then wonder why your life hasn't progressed. It's not the enemy, yo. What is that saying they say? Our biggest enemies can be ourselves, or our biggest critics, or something like that. So when you look at yourself in the mirror and you see yourself as a man, and you're looking at yourself and you say, this person that I am right now, I don't want to be this same man in the next 5 years. You get what I'm saying? Or in the next 1, in the next 2, whatever. Because there's some things that you have to seek, take the time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, God will send you the resources that you need to seek therapy if you need to. You know what I'm saying? But also, if you really buckle down and spend time with God, He will reveal some things to you. And you will be like, oh, I get it. It's that simple, y'all. It's really that simple. So, I hope this episode helps somebody else that's watching on the other side. Oops, sorry, y'all. It's just that I timed myself here. Yeah, I hope this episode, like I was saying earlier, I hope this episode is able to help whoever's watching on the other side, whether it reaches one person or two. That's what this is what this message was for. That person, you know what I'm saying? That man, that individual that's watching. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Once again, the 7-day journal challenge is in the description, and it's in the QR code on the screen. And it'll be throughout other episodes. I'm excited for this season. There were some people that were highlighted to me that I prayed about, and I reached out, and they have said yes, and they're going to be in this episode with me. This season with me. Just stay tuned, tap in, share the message with other ones. And I love y'all. Peace.